We're gonna make some tortellini pasta salad today. I hope if there's not one other thing that y'all learned from me from watching these videos, I hope you've learned to use what you have. And that's what we're gonna be doing today. I'm making a dish to take tonight to church. We're feeding our men from the local Adult and Teen Challenge. And we're having Italian night. So I wanted to do a pasta salad, and I'm just gonna use what I have because I didn't wanna go to the grocery store. I had some mushroom and cheese tortellini, and I'll show you a picture of what this was. This was actually came from Aldi, and it was in the dry pasta section. And I used 2 packages of this, and I just followed the instructions exactly. Cooked it exactly 8 minutes after it came to a boil. You don't want this to be too mushy. This is about an al dente. That's where you want it. Now I have some cucumbers. You could use one long seedless cucumber, or I have these little seedless cucumbers, so I'm going to be using about 4 of those because that's what I have. A red onion would be beautiful, but I don't have that, but I do have a sweet onion, so we're going to be using that. I have some grape tomatoes. I've already got those washed and ready. And in my fridge, I had some fresh grated mozzarella that I used for another dish earlier in the week, and I have this left over. And it looks like it might even have a little bit of cheddar mixed in with it. We're going to use that. I have some pesto that I found in my fridge. I had a jar of marinated red pepper strips. If I had fresh red pepper, bell pepper, I would use that. I'm going to use a little Parmesan cheese. And then today, because I have got a lot of other things I have to do, we're just going to use some bottled Italian dressing. This also came from Aldi, and this is very, very similar to the dressing that you would find at that yummy chain Italian restaurant. So let's just get going. I've got my pasta done. It's already cold. I ran cold water over it because I didn't want it to keep cooking. And in this container, I'm just going to put everything that I chop up. We're going to do that first. We'll cut the ends off of our cucumbers. And y'all, use any kind of vegetables that you want to. You could use fresh squash or zucchini here. You could use carrots. Whatever you have. We're just going to use cucumbers. I'm just going to do a little chop like this. I guess maybe this is diced. That's what we're doing. Use your chopper if you want to. I just already have all my dishes washed, and I am trying to get as few things dirty as I possibly can. It's my goal here. And as always, if it's possible and you're taking something somewhere else to leave, put it in a dish that you don't have to have returned. Make it easy on the people that you're trying to help. This is just a plastic container I got from the $1.25 tree. Has a nice lid, so it'll be perfect. Right, got my cucumbers chopped. Now we're going to work on this onion. And I'm just going to cut it in rings. I would advise using a sweet onion. A yellow onion is just pretty strong to go in this dish since it's raw. Yellow onions are best for cooking. And we just dice that up. My onion was small, but I'm still only going to use about 3/4 of it. Now the tomatoes. I'm going to use about half of this container. And I'm just going to cut those in half or 4ths. It depends on how large the tomato is. Some of them I'm just going to cut in half. Some I'll cut in 4ths. Now, if you're somebody who doesn't know their way around a knife, you probably need to use a chopper. But everybody needs to learn to use a knife. Make sure always that your knife is sharp. A dull knife is much more dangerous than a sharp knife. Got my peppers, and I just drained them. They're marinated in an oil and garlic vinegary base. Did y'all know that this is also the same thing that you can use for pimento peppers if you can't find them, and a lot cheaper? This has a little garlic in it. I'm just going to chop it up, let it go in there. One of the things I forgot to say is black olives. I had some left from another dish that I made earlier this week. What I like to do is just take that whole olive and then I just take my fingers and pop it in half. Don't even have to use a knife for that. Just kind of smash them a little bit. And as always, any of these ingredients that you don't like, leave them out. This is your dish. You also could just use a regular pasta for this. You do not have to have tortellini. Okay, so there's what we've got. So I'll give that a little mix. Now I'm going to use about a half a cup of this dressing to start. Shake it up good. You can definitely make your own dressing if you want to. I'm going to add probably about a half a cup of Parmesan cheese. And just give that a stir. I'm adding my tortellini last just because I don't want to break it up. I'm just going to fold it in after I have all of this done. Now I'm going to add some pesto just because I have it. You don't have to do this. I'm just going to put a heaping spoon of that. I love pesto, and I hope that other folks eating this will as well. So I'm going to go ahead and add another half a cup of dressing. And now we're just going to take our tortellini and fold it right in there, along with a little shredded mozzarella here. You could also take a block of mozzarella and cut it up into little cubes, or cheddar, whatever you like, or none at all. This pasta will absorb a lot of that dressing. And I think I've got one more thing I can add. I have some pepperonis left over from a dish I made last week. So we're just going to get crazy with it and add some pepperonis. And you see, just got a little stack like that. I figure most men like pepperoni, or they like meat, so we're just going to put that in there. And I'm going to cut it into fourths. Just chop it up. Go ahead and break it apart before you add it to your salad because it really sticks together. You're never going to get it separated if you don't do that first. Now look at that. Is that not beautiful? Let's do a little quality control. All right, let's see. That is very yummy. And did y'all see how fast that went together? I boiled my pasta earlier in the day so it could be completely cool. Now we're just going to put a lid on it, stick it in the fridge until we're ready to go. Good luck, y'all.